Oh, they've done it. They've finally done it. It's here. Thing we've all been waiting for. They finally did it. They updated the background. Just kidding, no, the real feature that we've all been waiting for. Most anticipated feature of the Caves and Cliffs update. Oh, they did it, guys. They did it. They deleted the caves. It's amazing.
They finally did it, guys. They said it couldn't be done.
But they reverted the caves back to the old 116 generation. It's beautiful, guys. It's nostalgic. It's what we have all been waiting for. Hello there, everyone. Lord Bud here. Welcome back to another Snapshot showcase. In this video, we're going to showcase the Snapshot and try to avoid getting canceled on the internet. So, as I just mentioned, yep, they did it. They deleted the cave update. If we go into Spectator here, we can look and see these. I mean, we still have geodes, but we can see it doesn't go down that far. You can open up and look and see this bedrock here is actually down all the way to Y0, and it doesn't go anywhere past that. Yeah, the new cave gen in this snapshot, it's gone. It's not here. So there's actually a bit of a reason why they did this. So the reason why they did this is actually pretty simple. Over at Mojang, they realized they're coming up on the targeted release date for 117 here, actually a lot sooner than they were hoping. They hadn't quite implemented everything the way that they wanted, and they didn't want to rush everything since this is such an ambitious and such an anticipated update. So what they did was they actually decided to split the update into two updates. Now, they gave a lot of reasons why, and in the description below there will be a link to a video with Lady Agnes and Henrik where they talk more about why they did this, but I will kind of go over it briefly. Number one is just for like quality of the update. They didn't want to like have to rush everything and then make it not as good, and then there's from like a technical standpoint, I guess adding too much new stuff or something makes the game run worse, or something. I don't entirely know. And then the other was, I guess, just the health of the team. They're trying not to make everyone work overtime right now, so that way they can get it done quickly, and yeah, other stuff like that. But yeah, link in the description to a video where Mojang kind of gives their caves and cliffs announcement there. In that video, they also give a little bit of explanation as to how these updates are going to be rolled out. So basically, in the summer, in the original release date, they're going to give an update with all of the like blocks and mobs. So basically, it's not going to have world gen. So kind of like what we have right here in this snapshot. So we have like new blocks and stuff. We have new ore textures. We have mobs, so axolotls. We have glow squids, you know, some goats, stuff like that. And then we have new blocks like dripstone, drip leaf, deep slate, those things. And basically they're going to add in all of those, and then later, they said around the holidays, so I would assume that means like December, they are going to do another update where they're going to add in like the cave generation and the new mountain generation, and they're going to expand the build limit. So in this snapshot, it's back to the regular heights that it is in 116. If you are interested in playing with the new cave gen and stuff like that, there is a way to activate it in these snapshots. In the end of the video, I talk about that a little bit more, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So yeah, kind of interesting the way they do that. My personal opinion, and I stress personal opinion, you have the right to disagree with it just as much as I have the right to voice it. I'm not saying this is better. I'm just saying this is how I feel about it. I think it would be best if they just delayed the entirety of the update until they can put in all the features with the world gen. But that's just me. I have seen some other people voice that opinion on Twitter. So, yeah, that's that. And also they mentioned that those sweet archaeology features that we saw during Minecraft Live are going to be postponed even further than the holiday time update, which again we can only assume means December. There are other holidays, but we can assume that means like Christmas, New Year time. But the archaeology system is going to be prolonged even sooner than that, which I'm pretty sad about because that particular system looked really, really cool. And I think to some degree, honestly, could fit in with the cave part of the update and even with the mountain part of the update as well. I feel like the archaeology system could like really bring it together, but at the same time I do see how maybe of all the features it could be considered the least necessary one. They do still plan on bringing it, it's just going to be much later. Now I don't know if in the summer we're going to get 1.17 and then sometime later toward the end of the year we're going to get 1.18 and then archaeology in 1.19, or if maybe it's going to be like 1.17 and then maybe 1.17.1 in the like later part of the year in the holiday time, and then maybe like 1.17.3 maybe early next year, and that's when we get archaeology. I don't know. I'm not a Minecraft developer. That could be a way they could do it. I think most likely it's going to be like 1.17 and then maybe like 1.17.2. Probably not. Like, obviously there's probably going to be different bug fixes, different like maybe glitches and dupes that are patched, and that might be like 1.17.1, 1.17.2 during those times, and then maybe in December or sometime around there we get 1.17.3 or 1.17.4 maybe, and that's when we get our world gen. I think that's probably how it's going to be. I think archaeology will probably be saved for 1.18, but I could be wrong. This is just speculation. But aside from that, we also actually have some features today as well. We don't really have that many, but they are definitely still worth checking out. So the first thing we have today actually has to do a little bit with the previous snapshot. So in the previous snapshot, they introduced raw ores. Whatever you think about that is whatever you think about that. But raw ores, the idea of them is inventory management and making it easier, making it make more sense. Well, they actually buffed raw ores quite a bit by giving us raw ore blocks. Now, I know people are going to get upset at me for saying this because of my other video, but in my personal opinion, these are the 3 ugliest blocks to ever be added to the game. Now, Joppa is a wonderful artist, and I'm sure these are going to get some renditions. They were literally just added. Everything gets texture changes as snapshots go. So I'm sure these are going to get tweaked a little bit to look a little bit better, but in my personal opinion, these don't look that great. Now, on the same lines of texture changes, we also have texture tweaks to the raw ores themselves. I'm gonna be honest, I liked all the original raw ore textures better, but these still do look pretty good. Great job, as always, Joppa. Great artist. So the raw ore blocks are basically a way to keep all of your raw ores more condensed, similar to how you can do with ingots and what you can do with like coal and diamonds and stuff like that. So it's an inventory management thing. Yeah, that's what that's about. A good change, because if you are fortuning these, the more you fortune, the more it fills up your inventory. So while maybe you don't quite have as many slots with as many different ore types, you're probably using just as many slots if you're using Fortune 3, if not more. So yeah, that's a change. Good that they have that, so when you're mining with Fortune, keep a crafting table with you, so you can craft those down, keep your inventory a little bit neater. In the building blocks tab, they've reordered a lot of the like ores and stuff, and the raw ore blocks. So basically now we have all of our ores, and then directly next to them is their deep slate variants, and then we have nether ores, and then we have block of coal, and we have raw iron block, raw copper block, raw gold block, block of amethyst, which is the same way for amethyst shards, and then we have the ingot variations of all of these, iron, copper, gold, diamond, netherite for ingots. So yeah, all of our ores, and then our block compact versions. So goats, of course, always spawn in the mountains biome, which will probably later be replaced, or this might just be placeholder for the new mountains, but we're not going to talk about those because obviously we have a while. These baby goats, they don't have horns. I think it was always like that, but I'm going to point it out because it's really cute. Goats are meant to ram anything that moves and also armor stands. Now, I haven't seen them do it. I think... Okay, actually, I think this may have just been rammed because it's not in the center of the block anymore. So let's actually just go ahead and grab that. So I'm moving. I switched to survival because I figure they probably won't want to ram me if I'm in creative mode. So let's, you know, just clear out some space. Hey, bud, are you gonna try and ram me? Is that what this is? How about you? Whoa! Okay, there we go. Alright, so that only actually did half a heart, so that's pretty weak, actually. I was not expecting that. I was just standing there. Oh, he just rammed that armor stand. Let's see if he'll ram this armor stand, too. That was kind of cool. It actually startled me. Now, if I was, like, on a cliff side, like, if I was over here, now that would have not ended that well for me, unless maybe I landed in the water. But that only did half a heart. I am not wearing any kind of armor, so I think I would almost like to see that buffed a little bit. I think if they did more damage, that could be cool. I think in that case, if I'm wearing armor, even if it's just iron armor, I probably won't take, like, any damage from that. So let's just stand around and see if... Yeah, I took 0 damage. So let's not to mention if I'm wearing netherite armor. Now, netherite armor does have knockback resistance, so maybe that's a little bit, like, of a bit of an advantage there, but I think that does need to do a little bit more damage because, I mean, it didn't deal any damage to me in iron armor, so if I'm wearing even, like, diamond, or, heck, any armor in general, I mean, it barely did damage when I was wearing no armor, so let's see if maybe we can get rammed again, see if the knockback resistance we get from the netherite armor is going to help us out. Okay, so as we can see there, the netherite armor caused us to not move at all. We took half a heart, but that is because our saturation is low. If we had eaten, then we would have never had that issue. And apparently golden carrots aren't in the food tab. Eh? Is this a bug? Oh, they're in brewing. Interesting. I'm just gonna grab these because there's a high saturation item. But I think... Now, it did damage every point of the armor, so that's interesting. I do think, though, it should deal a little bit more damage, and then possibly we could get some kind of enchantment to negate that damage. But that's just maybe a thought. Now, we will realize we still don't have the goat horn like what they have on Bedrock Edition, but we do happen to have the ramming, so I would imagine it's probably going to be coming very, very soon, possibly in the next snapshot. Now, it also says creepers now won't dare mess with goats. I don't know what that means. I spawned some creepers around while I was testing earlier, and I figured, oh, it's gonna be like cats. Creepers are afraid, but the creepers don't really seem to care, like, at all. Goats will also avoid powdered snow in this snapshot, so that could maybe be good. If you have a pet goat and you're in the mountains, maybe you can bring it with you, and depending on where it walks, you can tell where powdered snow is gonna be. Possibly. I don't know, but that is kind of a cool change. We don't want the goats falling into powdered snow. Now, listen very closely to this next one here. We actually will hear a crinkly, crunchy sound when bone meal is used. So if I bone meal the ground, now I actually kind of like this. While this may not be the world's most necessary thing, and I'm gonna be honest, I never noticed before that it didn't make a sound, I guess, or it was never a thing that I was thinking, oh gosh, I really wish bone meal made more sounds. But it is cool. It is cool. It makes sense in my opinion. There are some different technical changes that I don't understand in the slightest, so I won't even try and talk about them. But I guess there is now a /debug function. I don't know how it works, but it is certainly interesting. Now, if you do want to play with the new world generation in this snapshot and in future snapshots, there is actually a data pack that you can get that the developers made that puts in the Caves and Cliffs prototype data pack. It puts in all the world generation. There will be a link to it down in the description down below. And I think I may be checking out some interesting things with this data pack later on in some future videos. And that is gonna be it for Snapshot 21W15A. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this snapshot. What do you think about the release date split? What do you think about the compacted raw ores, or raw ore blocks, I think they're called? Do you think we're gonna get goat horn ramming soon on Java? And what do you think the goat horn is gonna be used for? But yeah, if you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that bell if you want to never miss out on more snapshot videos. I release a snapshot video every single week when a new snapshot comes out, on the day it comes out. So if you want to know what is going on, what is new, make sure you go ahead and ring that bell so you never miss it out, as well as always seeing notifications for other cool content that I make. But yeah, that's it for me. So until next time, stay cool, gamers, and we'll see ya in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.